Hello, survivors. Hi, family and friends. This is Roy from Bootsie Sweettarts Guide to Life and Other Disappointing Experiences. Wondering, what is Boxing Day? Meridel of the Meri Atelier issued us an opportunity to make a project for Boxing Day. Making gloves? Making boxes? Well, let's see my interpretation. First, let me thank Meridel Abrams for this great opportunity. This is such fun, having a video hop. And the links to Meridel's YouTube channel and any other important links will be in the description box below. So, of course, she meant Boxing Day, where you exchange gifts in the UK and other places around the world on the day after Christmas, December 26th. Now, I said to myself, what would be more appropriate than making a box on Boxing Day? Because our gifts are sometimes so important, we have to put them in a special box. And in a previous video, I showed how I made my, oops, there's always a surprise. I made a crazy patch box made from recycled, reclaimed Amazon boxes. We have tons of them, stacks of them. Today, on this video, I decided that it would be fun to make one with, oh, the lighting is awful, to make one whole cloth. Okay, so this is better lighting on the box and not so much on me. So this is a pretty box that I've made, again, from Amazon. Oops, we'll get there. Amazon boxes. Let me show you how I did this. Stay with me. Thank you. First thing you do, of course, is take apart the box, organize your cardboard, and make a pattern and measure the cardboard pieces. I use a utility knife. It makes it much easier than any other cutting device. And I have a video on detail on how I did this, and I'll have that link in the description. But then you hot glue it together. You'll see in the other video how easy it is. Very strong. The hot glue is strong, and it holds its shape. I've mailed things in them, and they arrived really safely. I have a box, that we all do, of scraps of yarn, of fabric. I have yarn as well. And I just glue the pieces on. I pinked them so that it'll help the fabric not to unravel, even though the glue is going to keep the fabric pieces together. And you just do the whole box. Again, you can see that on my first video. And this is fun. It's actually a lot of fun to do this. And then when it's all done, you embellish it. Now here I have a crochet flower with a button, and it's really a lot of fun. And it turns out texturally to be really a nice feel to the box. And it's really unique. Now for this project, I'm going to use whole pieces of fabric, and we need a top and a side. The bottom and the inside covers will be felt. So what I have to do is cut out a strip of fabric that will go around the base of the box. Now on the right, I have a finished one. You see the felt's going to be in the bottom and the inside bottom. So we do not have to cover that with the fashion fabric, with the main fabric. So I have to measure the circumference of the, circumference? No. The perimeter of the box. Oh, goodness. I've been out of teaching too long. And this one measures 22, 23 inches. Again, you measure the width of the strip so that it covers a little bit of the bottom, goes around the side, and covers the insides. You want the inside fabric to meet the bottom of the box right where the intersection is, so you don't have any box showing. And here I just measure 22, 23 inches, wrap it around the box. And this is mainly the side of the box. That's the purpose of this. And here I'll just pinch it together, no measuring necessary here. Draw a little line where the seam is going to be. And then I'll take this to the machine and I'll sew it along the line that I've drawn with seam allowance. And it doesn't really matter in this case how wide the seam allowance is, because we can always trim it. So it fits properly. Now comes the test. You want this to be snug. You don't want any looseness, or else the glue tends to warp the fabric and buckle it, put bubbles in it. So you want a little bit on the bottom. And this is the important part. You want that inside lining to touch the bottom of the box on the inside. Here I used ordinary matte medium. This is a fabric medium, like a Mod Podge kind of thing. And this, to me, works the best. It's very forgiving. You can move it around a little bit before it dries and sets in. And it leaves a nice feeling on the fabric. So I like using that. The corners are kind of difficult. If you're a perfectionist, you'll want to take more time than I did. You can get them to really fit in square, but they look pretty the way they are. And this fabric is a good fabric for this first. If this is your first attempt, I would use a fabric like this. And just keep pushing in. You want sharp edges. You want the corners to be sharp. And you'll see how long I can work with the medium without it drying up. But it then will dry very quickly. So here I'm actually using a little tool to get into the corner. You really want the corners sharp. More so on the top, because that has to go over the fabric. Now here the bottom is all we need. Now the top is a little bit different. Normally I would make a pattern like up in the upper left of the screen. But because the box is not quite symmetrical because of the cardboard, I've tried my best to measure it and make it perfect, and it's close. But there will be some little discrepancies. So I actually trace around with this Frixion fabric pen and extend the lines of the box, because we're going to have little flaps that will fold over the edge and down onto the inside cover of the box. Here I'm drawing a 1/4 inch seam allowance where we'll be sewing. And you'll see in a minute how that works. 1/4 of an inch is enough. Much more and it gets bulky in the corners. You don't want too much bulk. Now you see it's going to eventually look like that pattern, but it'll be fit to the exact box, the specific box. You see the arrow that I drew there. I want the arrow to line up with the top. See that? Oops, excuse me. So there's two arrows. They have to match because the box is not quite symmetrical. Now, that's the marking of how much fabric I need to go to the bottom of the inside bottom of the top. Inside bottom of the top. Well, you know what I mean. But measure twice, cut once. I didn't realize the ruler had one side didn't start at 0, so I almost made a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch mistake. So I need 2 inches over. Hope this is making some sense. It's really not complicated once you made 1 and 2 of them. And this is becoming my favorite way of covering boxes. And it'll work, you know, on boxes that you already have that are commercially made, where you've salvaged them and reused them. So now we cut away all the excess. There's some wasted fabric, but, you know, we always have use for them. Some of this fabric scraps will be in crazy quilts. These little strips will probably be in like a boho tassel. Now you can see the sense of all this. The corners will be sewn together, and we're actually fitting the fabric around the box. See how that's going to go? So we sew the corners together like this on the seam allowance, on that 1/4 inch. You go right to the edge. Pin, pin, pin. You don't have to, but I'm a pinner. I've made too many mistakes to not at least try to put a pin in here and there to hold everything in place. So take that to the machine, and we've sewn it, and now we have a cover, a top, that's going to fit the box. I've glued some of the batting, a piece of the batting to the top. Here's a prototype. You see how we're aiming to get it. I've glued this, just ordinary glue. It shouldn't move. We don't want it to move. Matching up your arrows so that if there's any discrepancies, it matches. And this is the fun part too, because it just fits so perfectly. You want the seams to be on the corner. And now it's just a matter of gluing the inside. You can glue the outside, the sides of the top. Don't need to, but you can. This to me is easier, just to glue the one inside of the cover. Just is easier. I'm clipping it just so that things don't move around. And here again, you just go around with the glue. You don't want too much glue. It bleeds through. And you want enough where it's going to hold. So I glue the whole thing all around. Make sure that that fabric touches the base. See, I'm pushing, and it's also tightening the sides, and it makes for a really custom, tailored fit. And when you think of the number of fabrics that are out there, these boxes can be really very, very beautiful. and worth the gift that you're giving in it. Now I'm just clipping it so the fabric won't move at all when it's drying. The bottom of all of the pieces are not exact, so I have to make a template. I simply take an index card, 2 index cards, cut them diagonally, make them meet on the sides of the surface I'm planning on covering, fit it in there really tight, and I'm using some repositioning tape to tape the pieces together. See how that's going in there? So if one side is 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch off, it doesn't matter. Here again, I'm matching, so I can come back and put the bottom piece where it needs to be. And this becomes my template. Really easy. I save the triangle pieces. That's why I use the repositioning tape, so that I can save the templates, because I'll be using them every time I make a box. I'd use them even if it was a regular commercial box. It's as easy as that. There's the arrows. Now I'm going to match the arrow with the pin. A little bit of glue. And we are ready to go, as they say. And it's such a nice feel to the box to have the whole thing covered. And the felt adds a cushiness to it. Seems more elegant with the felt. Or I would use, like, if we had velour or even fleece or velvet even, that'd be really elegant. Paste the bottom. Now that's the bottom of the box. It doesn't scratch the furniture. It hides all the edges. Really nice. Then I just cut out some lace flowers. Takes a little bit of time. Now, of course, the amount of time it takes to make a box. The box should be the gift. Never mind what's in it. Oh, my goodness. When I see a box like this, and if I get a gift, there better be something good in it. And I mean even chocolate. Expensive chocolate. But, so you cut out your embellishments, whatever you want. You can use lace, anything you want. Then you can make it to a theme. These will be glued on to the box with the same medium that I've put the fabric on. What I do is actually take a piece of wax paper, spread the glue out on the paper, sort of dip the flowers into the paper. Into the glue rather. I found this drawer pull in my stash of stuff, and I said that would make a really great pull cover, handle. So I just took an awl, poked a hole in the top right in the middle. I figured out where the middle was. And because it's a drawer pull, it has a screw which will hold the handle on. Just poke it through. Took a little bit of planning, a little bit of energy, a little elbow grease. Be careful you don't poke yourself. And I also found some of the artificial flowers that I thought might make a nice centerpiece. And sure enough, I had one that I thought would actually look really nice. I just took the 2 bottom pieces of the artificial flower, and they already have the holes in it, so it goes right on to the drawer pull. That was an easy one. And then again, I'm going to glue flowers on. I'm arranging them. They looks nice now. I like the effect. I had made cut out some little ones as well, same from the same fabric, and that is nice. That's to me enough. Sometimes less is more. Then I decided to add some shiny blingy thingies. I've been giving some thought to putting some lace on the sides of the top, and that may happen. And there is my box. What I'm filling it with are all kinds of little thingies that I make. And I'm going to be making these available as a Bootsie box of bits and bobs. And all kinds of crocheted things and journal things, things for patches, for clothes, just a lot of fun things. So you get a box and a treasure trove of little beautiful thingies of all types. There's a tassel, jewels, lots of fun. That's what made me giggle. I didn't realize I had this stuff already in the box. So there is my Boxing Day project. Thank you, Meri, again. This was a lot of fun. I was a little nervous making it, but I hope it turned out. And please thank you for viewing. Share with someone who might be interested. Please subscribe. And please be safe. Stay well. And bye until next time. Bye for now.